So we started our discussion of Maxwell-Boltzmann law of distribution of molecular velocities by making some assumptions in addition to assumptions of kinetic theory of gases. We have already constructed the velocity diagram. Now we'll start our derivation of the law. So first, let us consider a gaseous system which has n number of molecules, and the molecules are moving randomly in every possible direction with their velocities lying in the range 0 to infinity. So this is one of the assumption of the kinetic theory of the gases. Now the molecules are represented on a velocity diagram with coordinate axes OX, OY and OZ by their velocity points like this. These are some molecules moving with some velocity. These velocity vectors are attached with them, and then by transferring the velocity vectors parallel to themselves and placing them on an arbitrary origin with coordinate axes OX, OY and OZ, we have constructed the velocity diagram, and every point in this velocity diagram represent the velocity components of the molecules constituting the system. Such points are called velocity points. Okay. Now, in this velocity diagram, let us consider a velocity vector c. Okay. So, with the velocity point of with coordinate points u, v, w. Okay. So, we have taken a velocity vector c such that it has its x, y and z component of velocity u, v, w respectively. Okay, and this velocities so this is the velocity point, and its coordinates are u, v and w. It means that it has is x component of velocity u, y component of velocity v and z component of velocity is w. Now, so we can write that c is uy plus vj plus wk. Just like that, if we in a position space coordinate, if we have a point with coordinates x, y, z, then we generally write the position vector r as xi plus yj plus zk. Similarly, the coordinates of the velocity points are u, v, w. Therefore, the velocity vector will be c equals to ey plus vj plus wk. So, and we also know r square is x square plus y square plus z square. Similarly, c square is equals to u square plus v square plus w square. Now, u, v, w are mutually orthogonal or perpendicular, just like the components will be, the components are along x, y, ox, oy and oz. Now, ox, oy, oz are mutually orthogonal or perpendicular. That's why the components u, v, w are also mutually orthogonal or perpendicular to each other, and they are also independent of each other. This is one of the assumptions that we made earlier. Okay. That the components are, velocity components are independent of each other. Now, suppose we randomly select a molecule of the gaseous system containing n molecules. So, how likely, now let us try to answer one question. The question is, how likely it is that the molecule will have its x component of velocity lying in the range u and u plus du. Okay. When we started our discussion, we said that when we try to measure the velocity of the molecule, we cannot measure exactly what will be the velocity of the molecule. We only give a probabilistic measure that we say that its velocity may lie between this range, and we say that it is the probability is this much that its velocity will lie in this range. Okay, so what is the measure of that probability that a randomly selected molecule will have its x component of velocity lying in the range u and u plus du. So what is the probability? We don't measure the exact value, we measure its probability. Okay, so what is the probability? Now let's say the probability is pu, that is the probability that the randomly selected molecule has x components of velocity lying in the range u and u plus du is pu. So what is the value of pu? Pu is, if you remember, one of the assumptions that we made earlier, that the probability that a randomly selected molecule has a velocity lying in a certain range. Here the range is u and u plus du, depends on two factors. First one is the distribution function at that velocity and the range or the interval of the velocity. Here, so it will be product of two factors. First of all, distribution function f at that velocity. What is that velocity? U, and the range or the interval, and the range or the interval is du, so it is fu du. Okay, so similarly we can say that the probability that randomly selected molecule has y component of velocity lying in the range v and v plus db is, suppose we denote it by pv, and it will be, that probability will be product of the distribution function fv and the range and the velocity range, which is dv in this case. Similarly, the probability that randomly selected molecule has z component of velocity lying in the range w and w plus dw is pw, we denote it by pw, p for probability and w is for that velocity. It is product of two factors. First one with the distribution function fw at that velocity, which is w, and the range or the interval, which is dw. So we can write so fu, fb, fw are the distribution function at that particular velocity components. Now, as u, v, w are independent of each other, so the probability of this that's why pu, pv, pw are also independent. That is, the probability of these three so these events are independent. Okay, so and the probabilities are also independent. This events means that this randomly selected molecule will have their velocity lying in those range, either u and u plus du, or v and v plus db, and or c w and w plus dw. Okay, so the probabilities are independent because u, v, w are also independent. Now, what is the probability that the randomly selected molecule will simultaneously have its x, y, z component of velocity lying between u and u plus du, v and v plus db, w and w plus dw? Means earlier we said that they will have their velocity lying in either in this range separately. We talked about either only its x component of velocity lying in a particular range, or y component or z component separately. Now we are thinking, what is the composite probability that all these three events, okay, all these three events will occur simultaneously for a randomly selected molecule. That is, we select a molecule and we say that we want its x component of velocity to lie between u and u plus du, y component of velocity lie between v and v plus db, and z component of velocity to lie between w and w plus dw. So what is the probability of that occurring that? Okay, so what will be the composite probability? So the composite probability that these three events will occur simultaneously will be product of individual probabilities. We have already discussed this in the probability section while we are discussing the probability. Okay, so the composite probability that a randomly selected molecule will have its x, y and z component of velocity lying in this said range simultaneously, it will be the product of the individual probability. So if the compound probability is P, then it will be product of the individual probabilities, that is product of PU, PV and PW. Okay, so now let us put the values of PU, PV, PW. PU is FU, DU, PV is FV, DV, PW is FW, DW. Rearranging, we can write FU, FV, FW, DU, DV, DW. So P is the probability that a randomly selected molecule will have its x, y and z component of velocity lying in the range u and u plus du, v and v plus dv and w and w plus dw simultaneously, and that probability is equals to this term. Okay, now we can measure that probability in a different way.